Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravadishthaya Ramakrishna Te Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna has given number of spiritual instructions for those who want to live spiritual life and achieve the goal in this very life. Sri Ramakrishna has assured that it is really possible to realize God in this life. And Sri Ramakrishna himself did intense spiritual practices and realized the truth. He was overwhelmed with joy, and he shared that joy with those who are interested in spiritual life. So, God is real. It is possible to see Him, communicate with Him. One can retain one's individuality, and one can work as God's representative, being fully aware that he is the instrument of God. Today's topic, faith, the great spiritual power. In Sanskrit we call it Shraddha. We can't really translate Shraddha. Faith doesn't cover all the implications. Shraddha has tremendous significance. Shraddha includes love, devotion, reverence, confidence. All these are included in the word Shraddha. So, before you think of entering into spiritual life, have you developed Shraddha? It is very important. Shraddha is the greatest of the graces of the the human soul has been blessed with. Without Shraddha, life is a chaos, virtually a hell. So, how this faith helps man in various ways. It helps one to grand performances. Every great undertaking has faith for its foundation. An exercise of faith is an exercise of the entire personality of man. Even in regard to mere material abundance, faith is a highly potent force. Faith accomplishes things more easily than reason. Faith is the propelling force to works. Faith serves to lead discord to harmony. Faith is the window to truth. Faith is not blind. It sees more than the intellect does. Misery dims not, but brightens true faith. Faith is never baseless. It has a bedrock beneath. History is a record of faith's achievement. Faith never stifles any human talent. No one is entirely devoid of faith, for it is a God-given quality, and no man can shake himself free of it. But man is a complex organism, and he is on every plane subject to two opposing pulls. So long with the irresistible impact of inerasable faith on his personality is the disturbing confusion caused by doubt, unbelief, suspicion. The stronghold of certainty is often shaken to its roots by the quakes of skepticism. We do not like to doubt, but doubt like a ghost possesses us. Doubt is a negative force. If we rest in it, we are undone. As through a bad dream we wake to safe reality, we must pass out of doubt and land on certitude. If doubt is natural to man, it's also a passing phase, and we must not impress on it the seal of permanence. Doubt is occasionally a good beginning, but is always a bad end. If it leads to sincere inquiry, if it does not stand in the way of our getting convinced where there is sufficient ground for it, doubt is an initial help. But if it freezes the progress of reason and blocks the way of the higher vision and paralyzes our capacity for soaring to loftier heights, doubt is a dead weight on us. Lord Krishna has pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita the baneful effect of doubt. It speaks of the Shraddhavan and Samshayatma. Shraddhavan is the person of faith. He has zeal and self-control too. He attains knowledge. Having attained knowledge, he immediately attains supreme peace. But he who is ignorant and is devoid of faith and is of a constantly doubting mind gets ruined. For the doubting man, there is neither this nor the other world, nor happiness. Samshayatma vinashyati. Lord Krishna has said emphatically that there is no place for continuous doubt in the spiritual life. Doubt with the idea of understanding. That's what I said earlier in the initial stage. It is good. But you must know, if you stretch it too far, it's a destructive force. So, what a pernicious thing doubt is, and how necessary it is for an aspirant to free himself from its clutches. This is suggested to us in the last submission of Arjuna, which he makes after being taught by Lord Krishna. Arjuna says in the end, "O my Lord, my delusion destroyed, and I have gained my memory through your grace. I am free from doubts. I will carry out your behest." So faith is a great spiritual power. Sri Ramakrishna has said many ideas about faith in the gospel. Faith in the words of Guru, faith in the mantra, faith in your chosen deity, faith in yourself. All these are very important for making progress in spiritual life. Faith is not an easy and passive virtue. It has to be striven for. Shankara extols faith as that faculty by which the reality is attained. He also says that faith is acceptance, a firm judgment of the mind as true of what the scriptures and the Guru utter. The famous Upanishad, Kathopanishad, which narrates the story of the heroic and venturesome Nachiketa, points out to faith as the starting point of his greatness. Nachiket was then but a mere boy, but yet he was possessed of the rare quality of faith. Because I already told you, the word faith, I mean Shraddha. There is no word equivalent to faith, equivalent to Shraddha in English, so I am using the word faith. The Upanishad picturesquely says that faith entered Nachiketa's soul. It made him see things in the right light. That faith has to be cultivated. Like any other noble quality, that it is subject to a process of growth and development and can evolve into something higher than itself. Faith is not an easy and passive virtue, so one has to struggle and develop the quality of faith. There are a number of stories, mythological stories, which tell us of this glorious quality of faith, and how always there was a fight between good and evil, and how it was very necessary for the Supreme Godhead to incarnate Himself to crush the bad and to uplift the good. So this fight between good and bad is constantly going on in the world. Lord Krishna also gives a graphic description of how a person to develop faith should establish himself in Daivi Sampat. There are two classes of people in the world: those who are having Daivi Sampat and those who are having Asuric qualities. Well, ostentation, arrogance, self-conceit and anger, rudeness and ignorance, they are catalogued under fiendish tendencies. Demoniac natured people don't know what should be performed and what should be avoided. They are impure, ill-mannered, untrue. They don't see the play of the divine in creation. They sense only the operation of lust in the life process. Such people are of poor intellect. Being hypocritical and proud and deluded, they cherish false views and values. They are in the grip of hundreds of longings, and their ways and means are foul. Self-satisfaction with no just cause for it, and vanity mark their utterances. Such people, they really suffer. They are in the grip of passions, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. All these just bind the person firmly into this world, and so he has to suffer terribly on account of these negative forces. So one has to struggle very much to develop the quality of faith. Swami Vivekananda has composed a poem on Sri Ramakrishna, Jaya Naradeva, the famous Sanskrit poem. There he refers to Sri Ramakrishna as the weapon to destroy the doubts. Samshaya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram. All your doubts are vanquished by the power of the Master. So, Sri Ramakrishna is the mighty weapon to destroy the demon of doubt. So we should understand the implications of this tremendous, significant hymn composed by Swami Vivekananda. And Vivekananda has uttered these things because he himself passed through all sorts of doubts in the beginning, and finally how all his doubts were totally vanished from his heart. So this poem, Jaya Naradeva, is the outcome of his own experience in spiritual life. Everybody will have to pass through the stage of doubt. Vivekananda also, when he was young, he doubted as other youths do doubt, but with a difference. Vivekananda doubted daringly and never stopped halfway. He always carried his inquiry to the very doors of truth. In this very field of doubting, his ways have a lesson for us. Many of us doubt softly as a matter of fashion and keep lingering there. But Swami Vivekananda caught hold of every invading doubt, rode on it, as it were, and reached the gates of truth. This he did not only in regard to the grand question of God's existence, but in regard to many other matters, seemingly small, but all the same significant. So, questioning, experimenting, testing, demanding proof, and being ever ready to soar out of the quagmire of doubt once the consciousness of the true was vouchsafed, ever to discard the clothes of old illusion when they would no longer suit the expanded vision. So there are many stories how he used the faculty of doubt in order to test, to be convinced about the reality of the thing. Once an old man said, see, he addressed to the young boys, where Swami Vivekananda as a boy, Narendranath was also there. They were playing on the tree. That would cause this old man a great disturbance. But how to stop these boys playing there? So he made a trick. He called them and said, look, there's a ghost living in the tree. If you go and play there, it will grab your neck and you will be finished. Because the old man was telling this vehemently, all the boys were terribly afraid and they were hesitating to go near the tree. But there was one boy who was never afraid. That was Vivekananda, Narendranath. He just ridiculed the boys. What? You simply believe what that old man is telling without doubting whether it is fact or not, without testing it? If the ghost were there, he would have finished us long back. Come along, There is no ghost anymore. Like that he pulled them all and he played on the tree. In the same way, throughout his life, he would not accept a thing without questioning, without being firmly convinced. Again, Swami Vivekananda was just talking very lightly about the Advaita. He was just making fun, as it were, of Sri Ramakrishna's sayings. What, according to Advaita, everything is Brahman. This chair is Brahman, this table is Brahman, the ladle is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. So like that he was just in a very light way, he was talking. Sri Ramakrishna heard it and he came out and he touched his head. Immediately, Narendranath lost his outward consciousness. After a while, he regained his normal consciousness. When he regained, he saw everything was Brahman. There is nothing but Brahman. So he was firmly convinced what Sri Ramakrishna has said. And another doubt was lingering in Vivekananda's mind, that whether God could be seen. His forthright question, "Have you seen God, sir?" It bewildered many saintly celebrities. But here was Sri Ramakrishna, who answered straight, without hesitation, and with full of love and devotion to God. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Well, I have seen God. God can be seen by everybody. Anyone who wants to see Him can see Him." So this was a great revelation for Vivekananda. And finally, Vivekananda puts Sri Ramakrishna into a number of tests. He wanted to see whether Sri Ramakrishna, what he was telling, was true or not. Every time he would realize what Sri Ramakrishna has said was perfectly right. And there was another important test Swami Vivekananda does. That Sri Ramakrishna was lying on the bed with excruciating pain in the throat. He was suffering from cancer, and it was almost certain Sri Ramakrishna would cast off his body. Swami Vivekananda was there at that time. Then he began to think within himself, not expressing it. He thought, well, if Sri Ramakrishna, in this excruciating pain, if he still declares about who he was, then he would believe totally. Just that thought was in his mind. Sri Ramakrishna, he sat on the bed, looked at Narendranath and told him, "Still you doubt? Still you are doubting me? One was Sri Ramchandra in Treta Yuga, one was Sri Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, he is now Sri Ramakrishna in this modern age, but not in your Vedantic sense. That's the end of all doubts." That's why Swami Vivekananda composed that couplet, "Samshya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram." Swami Vivekananda was a sadhaka with a scientific outlook. He tested every step of his way. So, finally he declared, well, faith is very essential in realizing the truth. Swami Vivekananda also very vehemently said, one should have tremendous confidence in himself that he would accomplish the goal. The crusade against doubt and unbelief has been ably waged by Vivekananda, and the Holy Land has been recovered and faith enthroned. It is now for us to inhabit the promised land so lavishly bequeathed by Sri Ramakrishna. Doubt is not to be made a creed in itself. While it is true that an honest doubt is half the philosophy, doubt, if it stops with itself, becomes a stagnant stream. But if it evolves and gets liquidated, it is a welcome aid. Through doubt to faith is the way. One day, Sri Ramakrishna spoke to the mother, saying, "O mother, one needs faith. Away with this wretched reasoning. Let it be blighted. One needs faith. Faith in the words of the Guru. Childlike faith." The mother says to her child, "A ghost lives there." And the child is firmly convinced that the ghost is there. Again, the mother says to the child, "A bogey man is there." And the child is sure of it. Further, the mother says, pointing to a man, "He is your elder brother." And the child believes that the man is 125% his brother. One needs faith. But why should I blame them? Mother, what can they do? It is necessary to go through reasoning once. Again and again does Swami Vivekananda glorify the delusion wiping and doubt annihilating divinity of Sri Ramakrishna. He tells the Master, "One glancing vision at thine eyes divine, cleared by the collyrium of Jnana, defies delusion. Fearless art thou, and past all gloom of doubt." So, let us cultivate faith, its tremendous spiritual quality and tremendous spiritual force. It is the basis for spiritual life. A person endowed with faith does not waste his time in useless, unnecessary things, but utilizes all the time in trying to realize the truth. So, we should meditate upon the ideas of Sri Ramakrishna given in the Gospel with great Shraddha, and do practice with utmost faith. If you do it with faith, the result is quick, and you get the result, and you will know it, and you become blessed with experience. Page 764, 765. As Sri Ramakrishna heard the line, "Oh, the blessed name of Krishna, full of honeyed sweetness," he could not remain seated any longer. He stood up in a state of unconsciousness and went into deep samadhi. The younger Naren stood at his right. Regaining partial consciousness, the master repeated the name of Krishna in his melodious voice. Tears flowed down his cheeks. He sat down again. The musician continued his singing. Vishakha, a friend of Radha, runs out and brings a portrait of Krishna. She holds it before Radha's eyes. Radha says, I see the picture of him whom I beheld on the Jamuna's bank. Ever since then I have been in this plight. I see the picture of him whom I beheld on the Jamuna's bank. The name Vishakha spoke is the name of him who is painted here. He who played on the flute is the beloved of my soul. His virtues the minstrel sang to me. He has bewitched my heart. It is none other than he. So saying, Radha falls in a swoon. Restored to her senses by her friends, at once she says to them, Show me him, O friends, whom I saw reflected in my soul. And they promise her that they will. Now Sri Ramakrishna with Narendra and the other devotees began to sing the kirtan in a loud voice. They sang, Behold, the two brothers have come, who weep while chanting Hari's name. They continued, See how all Nadia is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love. Again Sri Ramakrishna went into Samadhi. After regaining consciousness of the outer world, he returned to his seat. Turning to M, he said, I don't remember which way I was facing before. Then he began to talk to the devotees. Narendra said to the master, Hazra has now become a good man. Master said, You don't know. There are people who repeat Rama's name with their tongues but hide stones under their arms to throw at others. Narendra, he said, I don't agree with you, sir. I asked him about the things people complain of. He denied them. Master said, he is steadfast in his devotions. He practices japa a little, but he always behaves in a queer way. He doesn't pay the coachman his fare. Narendra, that's not true, sir. He said he had paid it. Master, where did he get the money? Narendra, from Ramlal or someone else. Master, did you ask him all these things in detail? Once I prayed to the Divine Mother, O Mother, if Hazra is a hypocrite, then please remove him from here. Later on I told him of my prayer. After a few days he came to me and said, You see, I am still here. The master and the others laughed. But soon afterwards he left. Hazra's mother begged me through Ramlal to ask Hazra to come home. She was almost blind with weeping. I tried in various ways to persuade him to visit her. I said, Your mother is old. Go and see her once. I couldn't make him go. Afterwards, the poor mother died weeping for him. Narendra said, This time he will go home. Master said, Yes, he will go home. He is a rogue. He is a rascal. You don't understand him. You are a fool. Gopal said that Hazra stayed at Sindhi a few days. People used to supply him with butter, rice and other food. He had the impudence to tell them he couldn't swallow such coarse rice and bad butter. Ishan of Bhatpara accompanied him there. He ordered Ishan to carry water for him. That made the other Brahmins very angry. Narendra said, I asked him about that too. He said that Ishan Babu had himself come forward with the water. Besides, many Brahmins of Bhatpara showed him respect. Master said smilingly, that was the result of his japa and austerity. You see, physical traits to a great extent influence character. short stature, and a body with dents here and there are not good traits. People with such traits take a long time to acquire spiritual knowledge. Bhavanath, let us stop talking about these things. Master said, don't misunderstand me. To Narendra he said, you say you understand people. That's why I am telling you all this. Do you know how I look on people like Hazra? I know that just as God takes the form of holy men, so he also takes the form of cheats and rogues. To Mahimachan, what do you say? All are God. Mahima, yes sir, all are God. Girish to the master, sir, what is Ekangi Prema? Master said, it means one-sided love. For instance, the water does not seek the duck, but the duck loves water. There are other kinds of love, Sadharani, Samanjasa and Samartha. In the first, which is ordinary love, the lover seeks his own happiness. He doesn't care whether the other person is happy or not. That was Chandravali's attitude towards Krishna. In the second, which is a compromise, both seek each other's happiness. This is a noble kind of love. But the third is the highest of all. Such a lover says to his beloved, be happy yourself, whatever may happen to me. Radha had this highest love. She was happy in Krishna's happiness. The gopis too had attained this exalted state. Do you know who the gopis were? Ramchandra was wandering in the forest where 60,000 rishis dwelt. They were very eager to see him. He cast a tender glance at them. According to a certain Purana, they were born later on as the gopis of Vrindavan. A devotee said, sir, who may be called an antaranga? Master said, let me give an illustration. An Atman there has pillars inside and outside. An antaranga is like the inside pillars. Those who always live near the Guru are the antarangas. To Mahimacharan, the Jnani wants neither a form of God nor his incarnation. While wandering in the forest, Ramchandra saw a number of rishis. They welcomed him to their ashrama with great love and said to him, O Rama, today our life is blessed because we have seen you, but we know you as the son of Dashrath. Bharadwaja and other sages call you a divine incarnation, but that is not our view. We meditate on the indivisible Satchidananda. Rama was pleased with them and smiled. We shall stop here. Any question? So doubt with the idea of understanding is helpful. In fact, doubt paves the way to faith. But one must be careful in stretching the doubt too much. Everything has got limitation. So one has to be watchful about the things. And Sri Ramakrishna has dealt with this subject very nicely in the Gospel. Any question? Doubts are vanquished. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.